Hey guys, how's it going? MasterBucks here. Welcome to the latest career mode video. It's been a while since the last little experiment video, so it's good to be back. Now this video is going to be a little bit more topical compared to some of my other career mode experiment videos, but of course, we are talking about Southampton. A team that by this point we all assumed would have solidified their place as a Premier League team looking down the barrel of relegation. It's been a couple of years now since their back-to-back promotions up into the Premier League, and in those years that they've been in the Prem, they've really been able to get some quite respectable finishes, getting very high up the table, so we would have all thought by this point they would have solidified their spot in the top division. But no, at this point it looks like that Southampton, still with a few games left to go, yes, they could still survive, but they're looking very, very much like they'll be going down with, at this point, West Brom's probably the only other team that even now it's not official, but I mean surely. And if you take a look back at some of the teams they've had over this little stint in the Premier League of theirs, and you will see some magnificent players that they would eventually sell on to other clubs like Arsenal, Everton, Tottenham, and of course, yes, we'll be making a million jokes about Liverpool in this video, don't you worry. Players like Sadio Mane, Nathaniel Klein, Adam Lallana, Virgil van Dijk, Dejan Lovren, you're probably noticing a trend here. God, they just are Liverpool's B-side, aren't they? And then some other great players that they didn't just sell to Liverpool. Guys like, oh, I don't know, Gareth Bale. You've also got Mikel Antonio, Morgan Schneiderlin, Victor Wanyama, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Yes, I know the Ox is at Liverpool now, but they didn't actually sell him to Liverpool, they sold him to Arsenal first. It just doesn't matter though, because every Southampton player will eventually go to Liverpool. So obviously you get my point by now. You take a look over the last couple of seasons and you see that they have had some magnificent players, and it begs the question, what if somehow they managed to find a way to keep all of these incredible players? And that is where this video begins. I have brought back nearly every single big name player that used to play for Southampton that has now moved on to another club. This is the starting 11, the strongest starting 11 that I have put together for Southampton with all these players coming back. You'll still notice a couple of current Southampton players in the starting 11 though. Guys like McCarthy, you've got Bertrand, and then starting off with the returning players, you've got Alderweireld, who, I'm going to be honest, wasn't actually ever owned by Southampton, but you might remember the whole fiasco of he was loaned in from Atletico Madrid. They could have been able to abort him, but Atletico Madrid took too long, and in the end they couldn't get it done. It was a weird, confusing one. Southampton were nearly going to sue Tottenham to get him back, and in the end it just didn't happen. But they could have ended up with this man. They didn't. He's a star player now in the Premier League, so they'll be hurting obviously to have lost him. I've just put him in there for the sake of it. We've got Virgil van Dijk, again, great centre-back partnership there. Obviously just recently went to Liverpool. Speaking of course, more Liverpool departures, you've got Nathaniel Klein, not featuring as much now. Morgan Schneiderlin, he used to play for them, was let go. Victor Wanyama as well. Adam Lallana, so a completely new midfield, or a returning midfield, shall we say. And then look at the wingers. Sadio Mane on the left, and then Gareth Bale on the right. Gareth Bale, it should also be noted, I'm pretty confident was still only playing at left back on literally the total opposite end of the pitch when he was at Southampton, then was moved to Tottenham, and Tottenham developed him into a right winger. I'm pretty confident that's how it went down, but either way, we've brought him back still. The only other current starting 11 Southampton player that actually plays for the team right now is Gabbiadini, who I've just kept at that striker position. And looking at the rest of the players that we brought back as well, obviously Forster's still a current Southampton player, but Dejan Lovren is back. Couldn't find a way for him to get into the starting 11. Luke Shaw, Oxlade-Chamberlain returning as well, and Mikel Antonio on the bench, another player that was let go eventually. He's developed into a pretty decent player. He is also 79 rated as a striker, but I've just kept Gabbiadini in there just for the sake of it. We've also got Gazzaniga, who's gone off to Tottenham as well. We've got Chambers, we've got Walcott, and I don't really know why I put Nathan Dyer in there, but I don't know, 75 overall was like the minimum benchmark in stuff it. So he's there as well. So that is the starting 11 of a Southampton team that did not let go of its superstar players and did not sell them on to clubs like Liverpool, Tottenham and the like. That is clearly not a team that should ever be battling to stay up in the Premier League and trying to avoid relegation. That is a team that can easily be finishing up in the top end of the table, maybe not top 6, but up there, potentially challenging for Europe. I don't know, with that good a defense and with some star players like Mane and Bale. So obviously by now you boys know what's coming. We have started up a brand new career mode with that Southampton team, and we are going to be simulating an entire Premier League season. Will this Southampton team end up in the exact same predicament that it's in right now, just trying to stave off relegation, or will they potentially be on the total opposite end of the spectrum, maybe even potentially qualifying for Europe. I can't expect a team like this to be finishing top 4 Champions League spots, no. But maybe just the smallest, slimmest outside chance of potentially getting into Europe. We'll find out. So the Premier League season is underway, and checking in on where Southampton are currently at, they're sitting 7th, just underneath Watford. And of course, we see teams like Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Man United, and Arsenal, all teams that we expect to be up there, maybe with the exception of one, pretty much in the spots where we expect them to be. And of course, Tottenham are really not doing all too well. After 10 games, they're in 8th. They've lost 2 games. It's not too bad. I'm sure we'll see them kick on. But right now, Southampton in 7th. That's where I expect them to be. And that's where I was hoping they would end up finishing. I don't think that the team that we've assembled with all the returning superstars, even with guys like Bale and Mane and the incredible midfield, or should I say defense that they have, really, their midfield's okay. The defense, the centre-back partnership is sensational. Alderweireld and Van Dijk. I didn't think even then it was enough to crack into the top 6. So I would have happily taken 7th. So for them to be sitting in 7th spot, which is where I thought was probably the best that they could manage realistically, I'm 100% going to take that 10 games in, but there's still 28 more games left to go. We're now going to advance another 10 games into the future. Again, that absolutely clogged up December as always, and check on the table again. Okay then, now checking up on the Premier League table after 20 games played, pretty much the halfway stage, or a little over the halfway stage, and we are seeing some movement. Unfortunately for Southampton, it's a little on the downward end. Manchester United and Arsenal are currently tied on 43 points, but Manchester United are on top on goal difference. But still, Liverpool, Spurs, Leicester City have started to come up. Watford will not drop that 6th spot, and Chelsea have moved into 7th, Everton in 8th, which means Southampton sitting in that 9th spot. And you know what? Again, I'm still going to say 9th for Southampton. That's respectable. I reckon for this, maybe for this team of superstars, you'd probably still want to be putting a bit more of a fight up to the top 6, but still not cracking into the top 6. So to be 9th, I don't know. But to think about it, I mean, Watford are on 32 points, Southampton are on 27, so only a 5-point gap between them and 6th. It's still not bad. We'll keep it going. Let's go another 10 games into the future to make it to the 30-game mark, and then we'll have a real good idea of where this team is going to end up. And oh dear people, this is not looking too good. We started pretty well with 7th spot, then we checked in at the halfway stage and they were 9th. They just keep seeming to fall down the table every time we check in. After 29 games, they're now currently 10th position with 10 wins, 9 draws, 10 losses. So Man City have recovered. Chelsea are now the team out of the top 6 clubs that are the lowest in 8th. Liverpool with 6. Leicester and Watford continue to have really, really good seasons as well. They're fighting for a bloody Champions League spot. But Southampton's still in 10th. I know that I said that I would take 7th, and that's probably the best result that we could see this Southampton side get. 8th, 9th, whatever. But every time we check in, they're getting lower and lower down that table. How low are they going to go, or will they be able to bounce back? We're going all the way to the end of the season now. Come on, boys. We need to get something. I'm taking 7th, 8th, and 9th. If it's 10th or lower, I will not be happy, and I do not think that's good enough. So here we go then, people. After an entire Premier League season, we have made it to the end. I can tell you that this incredible Southampton team, with all of its returning superstars, did finish in 9th position. So they bounced back from being 10th, and they ended up finishing in a, do we call it respectable? I said I was going to take 9th. I said I'd take anything up into the top 10. So yeah, 9th. We'll have to take it. I think we just ran into Leicester City and especially Watford finishing 4th and getting a Champions League spot. Unbelievable. But I think we just ran into teams like Watford and Leicester having maybe slightly better seasons than we anticipated. To be fair, Watford and Leicester in career mode almost always seem to have a fucking banging season, like especially Leicester and Watford. I've seen Watford finish up the top so many times. But yeah, Southampton finishing in 9th position with 13 wins, 14 draws, 11 losses, and 53 points overall after 38 games. Now, before we get this done, I did want to take a look and see where all the goals, the assists, and all that were coming from, how the players were tracking on, and I noticed that the goal scoring came from where we'd expect it would come from. Gareth Bale and Sadio Mane both getting double-digit goals for the season. Bale leading with 11, but only 11? I would have thought for sure he would have relished returning to a team where he doesn't have to fight with guys like Ronaldo to get goals. But yeah, Bale and Mane got 21 goals combined for Southampton this season, and then the next highest goal scorer being Walcott and Antonio with 4. We also had Morgan Schneiderlin getting 4 as well in 42 appearances. Walcott managed it in 18. There you go. Nathaniel Klein, the fullback, Shaw as well, getting a goal. Redmond, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Van Dijk as well. And the majority of the assists coming from Mane, Schneiderlin, Antonio, Redmond, Bale, and Gabbiadini, all that lot. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was Southampton's team with all of its superstars returning back. Bale, Alderweireld, Mane, Van Dijk, and the lot. Really good team, I think, on paper. But for them to only finish 9th, maybe a bit disappointing. Who knows, man? It's still a hell of a lot better than what they've got going on right now, that is for sure. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you actually think Southampton, with about 5 or so Premier League games left to go, are actually going to go down into the Championship? It doesn't even feel right seeing a team like Southampton go down. I think there's obviously still a battle to be had. West Brom look like they're done. West Ham look like they're probably going to be safe. Maybe it'll be like a Stoke, a Huddersfield, or someone along those lines. Maybe a Crystal Palace. I don't know. I think they're an alright chance of staying up too. It's a tough one, you know. Still plenty of games left to go. Still a couple. And we'll see how it all ends up. Until the next video, guys. My name is Masterbucks. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And have a good one.